There we go. I just realized that that was not on. How's everyone doing? I am trying StreamYard for the first time, so hopefully this works well. Sorry I'm delayed. It is one of those things where you get out the door and you attempt to get some errands done before you go live, and there's traffic, and there's an hour-long wait at the post office. So yeah, hi. Ugh, my chair's loud and obnoxious. Sorry about that. How's everyone doing? Oh, thank you. I love this sweater too. It was my mom's. It was my mom's, and it was one of those where I was like, I love that sweater. I loved it on her, and I love it on me. So I'm excited to have it. Okay, let's see. I finally got done with decluttering all my lipsticks last night. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to say how many products I went through. At least not yet. I filmed it all because I am insane that way. So I got them all done. There's 3 drawers worth of lip products that I finally went through. Oh, that's so cool. That is very, very cool that you're wearing your mom's sweater too. I think it's just one of those cozy things where you feel like your mom's with you. I don't know. At least with me, I don't know. I feel like since this was my mom's sweater, it's like she's giving me a hug, even though that sounds really corny and cheesy. But when you don't have your mom around anymore, you're like anything to feel like she's there. Anyway, I don't want to get too sappy because I'll cry. Anyway, so going back to the whole decluttering thing. Oh shoot, I forgot the bag. I was going to show everyone. I'll be right back. Right back. Okay, sorry. I just realized I forgot this bag. This bag is super heavy, and this is all the stuff I've decluttered from just the lipstick drawer. I'm not even gonna, there we go. All the lips. Oh, I can't believe I had that many lip products to declutter. Let me see if I can make this a little brighter. There we go. That's a lot better. Cool. Okay. Hi, Gracie. I just saw you pop in. How are you doing today? I know it's so much. I'm excited to have it out of my drawer because my drawers are just so overwhelming. I was grabbing for the same 5 or 6 things because I was just overwhelmed with how much was in there. I couldn't see anything. And I had 3 drawers, or I still have 3 drawers. I like to keep it separate, but I have 3 drawers of lip products. I have one that's pinks and berries and some random stuff, and then I have nudes, and then I have my reds and purples and things like that. So yeah, let's see, actually I will tell you exactly. Hold on, I'm gonna have to calculate this out. I totally actually wrote down everything to see how many items I got rid of. So let's see. Plus 4 plus 24 plus 22 plus 5 plus 19 plus 5 plus 3 plus 10 plus 7 plus 17 plus 5 plus 9 plus 4. I got rid of 153 items. I don't even want to know how much money that is. If average price is like $10 a piece, then that's over $1,000. That's so embarrassing to say. But a lot of it has gone bad. And there's a lot of stuff in there that are kind of empties, but I'm not going to include it in my empties because that's just too many products. I'll just make an honorable mention like all this stuff is gone and we're good. And if you want to know what I got rid of, go watch my other video. Oh man. Well, hopefully you have some fun things to do, Gracie. You know, we didn't get any snow this year. Well, I take that back. We got a little couple flurries that stuck overnight and then they melted immediately afterwards. And I'm jealous because I grew up in Montana, which is very snowy in the winter. Well, in some areas that is. It's very snowy and I miss the snow. We don't get a lot of it here in Washington State, or at least in the Seattle area. So we get a lot of rain instead. But I just got back. I'm happy we're not on 100% lockdown ourselves, but I have a feeling we're going to get there because our COVID cases keep rising and it's really sad. Let's see, show. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm playing with StreamYard. I've never used it before, but all the favorite people that I watch here on YouTube are like, you know, using StreamYard and they look so fancy. So now I'm fancy too. But yeah, I remember those days when I had maybe just a handful of products. In fact, I finally got rid of the makeup bag that I used to have that I stored everything in because there was no point in me keeping it. Because what was it going to be used for? I have a different bag that I use for travel, and I use little Ipsy bags like this if I need anything else. And I keep like my memory cards in these. By the way, if you get Ipsy, those bags are amazing. I keep like every one of them because they're so versatile and they're amazing. Let's see. Cool. I like that feature. That's fun. Okay. Well, all righty. I'll keep that in mind if I'm like, why isn't she answering me? Okay, so I was going to show everyone really quickly my spreadsheet of products that I still own. And I was going to do a randomization, just a good old randomization of my Project Pan products. I thought this was going to be a fun way to do it. Instead of just trying to, you know, randomly grab something and try to pick a drawer. It's like, I don't know what I'd be doing with that. So, yeah, let's not do it that way. Let's make it fun. You know, I love my randomization stuff. I like doing random.org chooses my makeup. So what better way to do a product randomization than, or excuse me, what better way to do a Project Pan than to do a randomization of it, right? I have been subscribed to Ipsy since maybe 2012 when they first launched. And all those years of the little tiny bags, I've used them for so many things. There was a time where I was involved with a charity group that used to give out little gifts every year around the holidays, and I would donate those bags if we needed to have them for like, you know, personal hygiene or things like that. And they're amazing. I use them for gifts. I did forget to use them in the giveaway. I had my sister go through my giant bag of them. I'm like, here, take what you want. And then I forgot about them, and then I already got my stuff shipped out. So I'm like, oops. I should have, you know, put some of those in there for international folks who don't get Ipsy. So anyway, I'll have to remember that for next time. Let's see. I'm going to try to figure out how to share my screen here. Let's see. See if it'll let me here. Yes. Okay. It's not gonna let me. I'm not sure how to do this then. I guess I need to use Chrome. Really? Really? You're gonna make me? Let's see here. Let's try it again. Let's try this again. Forgive me, I'm learning as I go with this program. It's not easy to try to do a broadcast and say, hey, I'm going to practice when it automatically goes live on your YouTube channel. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to let me. That's a bummer. I think I have to use Chrome for it, and I'm in Firefox, so drat. Anyway, I have this whole spreadsheet of almost every single makeup item that I own. It's in alphabetical order because, a little obsessive with that. My total, kind of embarrassed to say this, but it's the perks of having been a professional makeup artist and being someone who goes to events, who gets Ipsy, all these things. So keep that in mind. But I have 1,432 items left in my collection. And I've gone through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So 1,432. So this is going to be fun to try to project pan, right? I think I might try to do 5 or 10 products a month. I don't know. 10 seems like a lot, especially since I'm not wearing makeup every day. Yeah, so, but then again, if I do a project pan of 5 products, that feels way more doable than I'm focusing on those products specifically, especially if the goal is to, pan them. So I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe 5. What do you think? Should I do 5 or should I do 10 or maybe 7? Yeah, 5. Okay, so I'll do 5. I wish this would work for me to show you. I don't want to switch browsers because it's going to end the stream and then I have to do it all over again, which I don't want to do. So let's see. Well, I could possibly do it on my phone. No, it's going to be backwards because my webcam is backwards, so never mind. Okay, well, I will do random.org, and let's do 1432. This is going to be interesting. 1432. Okay, so the first one on the list is 460. Scroll, 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 scroll. Oh, this is fun. So it is a Jessie's Girl eyeliner, and it's a silver color. Jessie's Girl is a brand that I greatly miss. Unfortunately, they went out of business a couple of years ago, and I have no idea why. Well, actually, maybe I do, because they weren't the biggest on social media, and I think the only place you could buy them here in the States was from Rite Aid, which for me isn't that prevalent around this area. We have a lot of Walgreens, we have a few CVS's, and Rite Aids are kind of sprinkled in here and there, but I had to drive quite a distance to get to Rite Aid if I wanted to purchase Jessie's Girl. So for me, if I went to Rite Aid, it was more specifically because I wanted Jessie's Girl makeup. So I'm really sad that they went out of business because they had, excuse me, they had the best black liquid liner. It had the best tip. In fact, I still have one that's good and I use it regularly. It is up there on my list of favorites. So I use it sparingly because I don't want it to, go away and not have a replacement for it. I wish I knew to buy backups, but alas, no backups, just the one. But yeah, Jessie's Girl. I remember when I first heard of Jessie's Girl. Does anyone, do you remember Julie G713? She was kind of a bigger influencer here on YouTube several years back. She was one of the first ones on here. She used to do like Fashion Fridays. She had a lot of great videos. I cannot speak today. Occasionally she'll do a video here and there, but sadly she's no longer a frequent uploader. But she was such a fun, positive person, and she introduced Jessie's Girl to probably a lot of her audience because she did a lot of like brand deals or something with them. I don't know if they were sponsorships, but they would send her stuff and she would do a lot of product unboxings and things like that. And then she ended up, she was well known for her nail art. So she would do nail art and really pretty nail things. And Jesse's Girl had some nail polishes, and she featured those on her channel. And eventually she had a deal with them where she developed her own line, which was really cool. But I don't think her brand is sold anymore because Jesse's Girl went out. So that's such a bummer. Hi, Sam. How are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, she's old school. I've been on YouTube since 2009, so that was yeah, a while. I'm kind of an oldie when it comes to the YouTube sphere and beauty. And I started uploading videos in 2010, so it's been 10 plus. Oh, it's just been a shy of 10 years for my beauty debut, but I did upload a few videos back in 2009 and early 2010. They weren't makeup related. They were just goofy whatevers that I now have since privated because they're really embarrassing and they're things with my sister and I. So yeah. But yeah, 2009. So many wonderful memories from that time period. My YouTube channel at the time was Emily's89, and it was a random assortment of stuff. And the reason I have other channels now is because I wanted to segment things, because not everybody wants to watch a makeup video and then immediately go into a cooking video, and then to immediately go into a random travel blog, then to go into some weird art project. So I kept it all separate. So by the way, shameless plug here, you can always find my other channels in my description boxes. So you can go check them out. That'd be cool. I haven't uploaded much. I was going to do the whole Vlogmas thing on my Lisa's Pieces channel, but that was a whole debacle. My computer pooped out. So I was editing my very first Vlogmas video. It was the shopping guide, and it was a lot of work. I put in over 10 hours of editing on that video, not to mention how much time it took to film it and plan for it, get all the screenshots together. So I was almost finished. I was doing a couple little minute tweaks, and all of a sudden my computer froze up, and I had to do a hard reboot by pushing the power button, and I went to turn it, I went to reboot it, and it went into this reboot cycle where it would turn on, start loading, and then power right off. And it kept doing it over and over again. I finally got it to open in safe mode, but I ran diagnostics on my hard drive, and it said everything was fine. So I thought, okay, well, if it's fine, maybe I just need to reboot it again and see. So yeah, it didn't come back to life. So I had to take it to the store, Apple Store. I ended up having to take it to a third party because the Apple Store was going to take like 2 weeks at least, and I didn't want to wait 2 weeks because of Vlogmas. So I took it to a private little company that is contracted through Apple, and I have Apple Care, but it still cost me like $600 to get my computer restored because of all the memory that I had to restore. Yeah, because nothing backed up to the cloud. So that was fun, and that delayed my whole Vlogmas thing. So I didn't do Vlogmas on the other channel like I had expected to, and then I was late for my Miss Vlogmas. So that was such a bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. But you know what? Things happen for a reason at different times. So, maybe it wasn't that time. Yeah. Oh, yep. I watch just about everything. This channel here, I have 3 channels that I'm logged into, but this particular channel, I'm subscribed to a mishmash of things. I should probably be a little bit more strategic and subscribe to different things based on the channel that I'm logged into. So if I'm logged into my Lisa's Pieces, that's more lifestyle, DIY stuff. So I probably should be subscribed to all those kinds of videos or those kinds of creators on that channel. That way when I comment, I have that name associated with my comment, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, let's see. Yeah, You know, I feel that way sometimes too. Like maybe I should have been way more consistent with uploading back in 2010, 2011, and just stuck with it and invested in the equipment. I mean, I was making videos back then and I had a small community. Back then, you could still do video responses to people in their videos. So I did that a couple of times. I had a couple of friends here on YouTube that were really great, but I have lost contact with them and I can't find the one. I think she just disappeared off the planet. I have no idea. I knew her real name and everything, and I can't find her anywhere. I was so sad. So it's amazing how many friends you make on the internet, but when you don't see them on YouTube anymore, you're like, how do I keep in touch with them? But now YouTube is so different where it's not so much community based. It's more like, hi, I'm like a celebrity, so you can only talk to me in comments. You can't message me, or you can't, do a response and have a conversation with me outside of the comment section. But I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah, you know, I can at least write it off as a business expense. So I'll just throw that in on my taxes and it will be for 2020. So, I mean, just add it to the dumpster fire of the year, right? uh, yeah, me too. Lauren was the first person I ever saw on YouTube doing makeup. Candy Johnson posted some little tweet the other day about, or asking if people remembered the YouTube times of MAC, whatever color it was she was referencing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so old school. And I commented, I'm like, for me, I was saving my coin for the shark skin eye stick that Lauren Luke always had on her channel. And that was like my ride or die. Like I wanted that. And then I was like, oh, and also, what was the other product I mentioned? Oh, Feline, the MAC eyeliner Feline. That is still one of my favorite blacks. I have one. It's a bit old, but it's my favorite black. It's so good. Yeah, political satire is fun. Yeah, so fun. I love watching, what's his name? James Corden. Oh my gosh. His political commentary is hilarious. I about die every time I'm watching him because I laugh so hard and I get little muscle spasms in my belly and I'm hurled over like, why am I laughing so hard? This hurts so hard. And then I'm like, but it's so funny. uh, oh, and I also like Stephen Colbert, even though he's more dry with his quips, but he's interesting. And then who else? Those are about all the people I watch on politics. If I'm going to go political, I tend to just watch NPR, which is definitely not humorous. NPR or just local news. Yeah, YouTube, old school YouTube was so awesome. There's some things I didn't like as much about it, like some of their spam and some of the community, like a lot of the bullies were a little bit more out there, I think. Now you can report things, whereas back then you couldn't really do it. You could block people, but it was a little less filtered that way. There are a lot of features now that are wonderful, but I mean, like being able to do live streams, you couldn't do that back in the day. But there are a lot of community features that I wish they would restore. I mean, not everyone needs to do, as much as I think video responses would be a cool feature to receive again, I don't think that would be conducive for these large channels, especially if they have like 500,000 or more subscribers, because there are so many people, going through the comments on these larger creators, I always see comments like, please check out my channel and please check who wants to do sub for sub and all those little things, because everyone wants to make it as an influencer on YouTube. So I imagine that the video responses would only invite people who are trying to grow their audience. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it can be a little cumbersome and frustrating for a creator to have those comments. My comment, actually, I have a filter in place where it automatically takes those out and I review them one by one, because I don't want someone just to comment on my channel just to promote their own crap. I mean, I'll check them out if I think they sound interesting or if they bring something to the conversation, like, hey, I did that too, and I shared my thoughts if you're interested. Something like that is fine. But just to say, hey, I like your content, come check out my channel and let's support each other. I'm like, that just feels like, I don't know. I've just been around long enough to know that what often happens is they sub and then they wait for your subscription and then they unsub from you, and then now they've grown like crazy. And I've had that happen a couple of times where some actually now larger creators had subscribed to me, and they were social climbers and they got a huge following and they've been on TV and such, and then they unsubscribe from my channel. It's like, really? People show their true colors in that way. It's kind of a bummer. Oh, I'm not sure who Rally Clips Jordan. I'm not sure. I feel like I know who you're talking about, but at the same time, I don't. Like the name, that whole spiel kind of sounds really familiar, and I can't think. Who's that guy? I think he's from MSN, or excuse me, not MSN. I was thinking MSNBC, NBC maybe, or ABC News. Noah something or other. I'm forgetting his last name. I follow him on Twitter, so I should know who he is. He also has some great commentary, although I don't think he's. I don't really think he's that. I don't think he's humor driven. I think he's more just political commentary, but he has a lot of really good points that I enjoy hearing. I do try to listen to the other side of the aisle, but it's so hard sometimes because it's so polarizing, but it is what that is. Okay. Yes, thank you. Trevor Noah. That is absolutely who it is. And Jordan, I'm not sure. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure. That name is not ringing the bell for me. I just sounded very Southern there. I don't know where that accent came from. Hey, I'm M, and I can make up any accent I want today. Haha. Oh, well, apparently I don't pay attention to names because I butchered Trevor Noah's name. Maybe I just really listen to what they're saying and just don't pay attention to anything else. I am terrible with names. I will admit. Like, I remember faces, I remember things people say, and that's it. I will remember names, but not associate them with faces or stories. It's weird. Like, I'll see a name and I'm like, I know who that is, or I know that name, but I can't associate it with anyone. So I don't know. That's just an issue with me. Okay, so I've gone ahead. I just got a little distracted here. So the first item that I got from my randomization for the Project Pan was my Jesse's Girl Silver Frost Eyeliner. So I will be using a lot of silvers in the next 30 days because this is a silver eyeliner. And I was just talking a little bit about how I missed that brand since it went out of business, but yeah. Oh no. Hopefully you have something to help. Maybe some ginger ale or something will help. It always helps my belly get settled. I hope you feel better. That stinks. Nothing worse than that. Okay, let me write this down so I don't forget because I'm forgetful. I'm very forgetful these days because I've got a lot on my plate. Sharpie pen because I can't find, oh, never mind. Here's a regular pen right here. Okay. So first thing on my Project Pan is the Jesse's Girl High-Low. I think that's what it was. High-Low? No, Silver Frost. High-Low is the name of a different silver eyeliner I have. Okay. Liner. So I have 4 more items to pick from my list of all the products I own. The oil in your makeup cart. Did I miss something here? What oil? I'm not sure what oil you're referencing. Sorry. Glitter liners. Yes and no. So the one I have, the gold one, is nice. It can be a little flaky at times. You have to apply it really thin and then you can build it up. But if you just do like a really thick line, it can come off as really crumbly. I don't recommend doing it in the inner corner of the eyes. I did that one day and my eyes were horrified. They were, it felt like murder on my eyeballs that day. So, they are nice. They are more pigmented than others. I don't know if Urban Decay still has theirs, but Urban Decay also has some really great glitter liners if you want to go a little bit more high end. Trying to think if there's anything else that I can recommend off the top of my head. But yeah, the NYX ones are good. They're not bad. They're one of the better ones. But yeah, just be careful if you're wearing them in the center of your eye. Center of your eye, no. Sorry, the tear duct, so you don't get those glitters in your eyes. Ooh, yes, that would be fun. So, Sam, I don't know if you heard this, Clara, but I have my list of every single makeup product I own in a spreadsheet because I finally finished decluttering every single little thing and I cataloged everything. So, yeah, because I'm a little Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to do a randomization of the products I'm going to try to project pan. So there are a total of 1,430 products in my collection because that's not enough. I mean, I need more. Anyway, so all three of you should pick one. That would be kind of fun. Pick a number from 1 through 430, but skip out on 460. I already have that number in here. Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. So here's the number of products I own. Shame. And we'll go from there. Okay, 1,003. Let's see what that is. Scroll. I wish I could share my screen. It's just not popping up for me. Okay, this is a almost brand new product for me. It is an Ofra lip gloss in truffle. It's kind of a brown tone. It is really pretty. I actually just got this like a month or two ago when I was ordering stuff for the giveaways. So that one's pretty. I'm excited for that. Okay, Ofra truffle lip gloss. So this is going to be interesting if I do a makeup look with these two things together because the brown toned lip gloss has gold in it and then the silver eyeliner. So I'll be very, I don't know, maybe that's futuristic or something. All right, 777. Let's see what that is. Scroll. Oh, okay. That is my Maybelline Falsies mascara and it is open. Actually, that is perfect because I'm not liking this one as much and I've been trying to get through it. So this will force me to finally just get it done and over with, finish it up and be rid of it because Lord knows I don't need mascaras that I don't like as much, but I don't like wasting products. So that was a good number. Thanks, Sam. Falsies mascara. Okay, and Claire's 1,031. All right, we'll get to the very bottom of the list here. It's all in alphabetical order too, so I have a feeling I know what brand this is. Oh no, it's not at the end. I'm just kidding. I can't count. Let's see. 1031. Oh, okay. So this is a Paris Hilton blush specifically. I have it in a Z palette, and I actually featured it in my depotting or makeup organization video. These came in this giant horrible packaging that just took up so much space in my drawer. So I finally depotted all of those. So I know exactly which blush that is. So that's actually a good thing because it's another product that is older that I should just actually use instead of just letting it sit and just gather dust. So perfect. Paris Hilton Shimmer Blush number 1. Cool. Oh, hey, Louise. How are you? Good to see you. So just to give you a little backstory or update on where we're at, I am doing my random list of the things I'm going to try to project pan over the next 30 days. So I have, unfortunately, my screen share isn't working since I'm trying StreamYard for the first time, and I'm learning as I go here. But anyway, I have this spreadsheet of all of the makeup products I own, and we're doing some randomization and picking the 5 products I'm going to try to pan. Well, maybe I won't pan it all, but I definitely want to get some major love out of in the next 30 days. So we've already picked 4, and I have, let's go back here to my comment. Scroll, 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 scroll. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my comment? Okay, here it is. So 1,430 is the total number of single items I have in my makeup collection. I know, that's way more than any single person or even a group of people could ever use in a lifetime, but that's why I'm doing a project pan. Anyway, yeah, so if you want to pick a number from 1 through 1,430, that will cap it out at that 5 mark. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to go back to some of these other comments. Yeah, Ofra is one of those brands I hadn't had a lot of experience with. I forgot that I actually had a lot of Ofra in my collection. I honestly thought that my order from them in the last couple of months, I ordered that Jen Loves Reviews lip collection, and I ordered my blush palette from them, and it's my hands down favorite blushes ever. They're just so amazing. I love their blushes, but I thought that was really my first experience with them. But in going through my makeup collection recently and starting to do this whole list, I realized I have a lot of Ofra products and they're not all new. And I thought, wow, how is it I didn't know I had all this stuff? It's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, Ofra's highlighters are amazing. Their lip products are amazing. I have heard that their eyeshadows aren't as good, but I do have a palette that I recently got from one of their mystery boxes. It came in the mystery box, so I bought one for myself, and then I did a mystery box giveaway as well in my MS. But anyway, so I haven't tried that palette yet. But anyway, yeah, Ofra is nice. I recommend them. Yep, use it up. Use it up. And yeah, like, you know what's sad is I used to love that mascara. It's the one that comes in the purple container, and it's falsies. It used to do a really nice job, but maybe back then my thoughts on it doing, like, I've used it for a long time, but I don't know, maybe my thoughts and experience, or maybe even my lashes have changed. I don't know, but something about it is just not the same. It's just not as good. So be gone. I have other ones that I like. The Maybelline Lash Sensational that comes in kind of almost the same color as my sweater. Comes in a pink container. I love that one. That one's really great. Yep, get it out. Get it out of my collection. Let's get through some of this other stuff. Because right now I'm at that point where I don't want to buy any new things because I keep thinking, why? Where's it going to go? Why do I need more stuff when I have all this other stuff I'm not even using? And looking at, oh, by the way, I showed this off earlier. So I just finished decluttering all my lipsticks last night. And this is the bag of all the lip products that I'm decluttering. So, oh my gosh, it's so heavy. So I calculated the number of items that I'm discarding or decluttering. There's over 150 products in that bag. So in realizing how much money that is wasted, if the average cost for each product in there is $10, because there's some high-end things in there as well. Let's say $10 is the average price, then that's over $1,500 that I've wasted in products. So for me, I can't justify buying new stuff until I use up what I have. So for the new year, that's one of the reasons why I have this whole no buy restriction. Well, it's not quite a no buy, because I'm still allowing myself to have one makeup purchase per month, but it has to be something I'm really excited about. So if there's a new release of a product I'm really interested in, like a palette, then I'll allow myself to do it. I don't have a cap on how much I can spend, which can be dangerous, but I'm finding that every time I think about buying a makeup thing, I was, watching some other folks, doing no buy, or what is it, the anti-hauls or the new releases and things. Sometimes I see things and I'm like, oh, I really want that. But then I'm like, well, do I want to use my one purchase per month just to get that? There's some other things I'm sure are really great that I want to wait until the end of the month to see about. So I'm at that point right now. I haven't bought anything for my collection. So I did have to buy something for the giveaway, but I don't count that because it's not for me. That's for my business. Yeah, Paris Hilton. I did a video it was a couple years ago where I showed off all of the Paris Hilton makeup that I'd gotten. It was very interesting. Some of the products were kind of nice. Some of them were kind of not so nice. I found them, I think, at Ross or TJ Maxx, one of those discount retailers. I think they still have some stuff. They're just, I don't know where to really find it. Yeah, I've heard recently, or at least in the last year or so, that Paris Hilton had come out with some weird skincare stuff. I don't know. I feel like it was stuff that she just slapped her name on. I don't think there was a lot of thought that went into the products. I don't know. It's really hard to say. There's some, like, that's why I kept these, the blush, because I got the blush. The blush and the contour products are actually really nice. They do rival things like MAC, because I don't think they're too pigmented where you feel like a clown if you don't blend it out well enough. It's just, they're very soft and silky. I really like those. But the lip products weren't that great. There was a mascara that I liked, but obviously I've since gotten rid of that because it's, a couple of years old. Don't need that mascara hanging out. There were a couple mascaras that I tried out, and I did really like the one. Some of the lip products weren't bad. They just weren't my favorite liquid lipsticks. Oh, 215. Okay, let's go back. Scroll, 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 scroll. I like this. I'm going to do this every month. I like this random choosing. I don't think I'll do edited videos for this. I think I need to do this live. Ooh, this is, okay. This I think this is a blush. Yes, it's another blush. So I have two blushes here. Okay, I can rotate back and forth. That's not a big deal. This one is from a brand called Color Impact. I know for a fact that this came in one of those kits that you can get at Walmart. It was a pretty color. I think I kept it because I liked the color. It's just not one I've grabbed for because I've got other blushes that I've really been enjoying, like my Ofra ones. So yeah, that's a good one. That is a very good one. So Color Impact. Oh, and the color is called Fashion. So I think it's a little bit deeper than my sweater, but it is a pink color. It's funny that I know this much about my products. Like I can tell you, yep, this is this, or yep, that's that. That's what this looks like. So for over 1,000 products, that's a lot of knowledge. That's a lot of knowledge. Blush in Fashion. Cool. We got my 5 products. So the 5 products that I will be attempting to pan or at least use significantly over the next 30 days are the Jessie's Girl Silver Frost Eyeliner. So it's a silver eyeliner. The Ofra Truffle Lip Gloss, which is brand new to my collection, and I can't wait because it's such a pretty color. good for the winter, the fall and winter seasons. I've got my Maybelline Falsies mascara, which I definitely need to use up because it's not my favorite anymore. The Paris Hilton Shimmer Blush and the Color Impact Blush in Fashion. I have to say it that way, Fashion. Was that in your response to Greasy? I'm not sure if that's referencing Paris Hilton. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, it must have been Paris Hilton that you're referencing. Sorry. I got a little confused there because I know you've had a little bit of a conversation going with Gracie. So I'm like, wait, what? Yes, for a while there, I was trying to do it every other week, but life just got in the way. I've been a full-time student for quite a while now, for over a year and a half, and I finally, that's a whole other story now. I just started at the beginning of this year at university. I transferred from a community college to the University of Washington. And with everything being online, it's intense. And I'm taking a really big course load. So I haven't been able to edit videos. I can pick one thing I can do each day. And I've gotten so organized with my planning that I'm very proud of myself. Now, if I could just stick to the schedule, that would be great. But I have my iPad and I downloaded the Artful Planner. So you pay, I think, like $7 a month or something, but I bought the annual subscription because I'm like, I need a planner where I can, handwrite it digitally. I can have it syncs with Google, it syncs with the iCalendar, the Apple version. It syncs with Outlook, it syncs with everything. So, but it's better than that because you can create lists within the app. You can color code things. You can do a daily planner, a weekly planner, a monthly planner. You can create recurring events and recurring to-dos, which is really, really nice. That's been helping me out a lot with some of the homework that I have every day. So that's been a godsend. And then I also purchased, I don't have my iPad with me right now. Noteful, something like not Noteworthy. It's kind of like Evernote, but it's specific to like the Apple Store. I want to say it's like Noteful or something like that, but it's great. I saw Taylor Wynn use it in her videos when she was talking about planning, and then Jessica Braun showed it off because she was also obsessing over how cool it was to be able to do like these really fun colorful notes and you can handwrite them. So I used my iPad for that. My iPad had been sitting in a drawer just collecting dust because I just use my cell phone or I use my laptop if I want to go online. So I was like, oh, the iPad, that would be perfect because I have an iPad mini. So I don't like the giant one. I like the smaller one. So I can just hold it in my hand and write out my notes really fast. And then if I need to, this is another thing that's really cool because in one of my courses, I have to be able to use graph paper. I have to download graph paper and then I have to upload it as a PDF and this app does it. So it was like a win-win in so many levels. So I keep my to-do lists in there. I handwrite them and then I have fun crossing them off every day. Anyway, that is to say, I pick one thing each day that I can do for YouTube or my channel or anything within my business realm, and I do that. So some days I just don't have time to edit because I have like 10 hours of schoolwork I have to do because everything's online and I have to watch 4 hours of lecture online. So anyway, I'm going to try to do this at least once a month. Oh, okay. Let's see what $3.99 is. You can switch that out. Well, let's see. Then how about this? You can decide which one. Oh, okay. So this one is a lip liner from Hot Topic and it's magenta. So this is like a very bold, like fuchsia color. So you can pick. Should I do the blush or should I do the lip liner? I'm open to either. They're both products I should use. So we're good. Awesome. Yeah. I tried to be mindful to schedule it enough in advance so that you folks can be here and not be like, oh, she's live, and I can't be there right now because I'm in the middle of something. That's my issue. Is there's a couple people that I watch here on YouTube, and I'm like, I would love to just be in the lives all the time, but I can't because, life. And, some of them are scheduled every week. For example, Emily D. Baker. I have fallen in love with her channel. She dishes the dirt, but in the legal commentary space. Like, she'll go through a court document with like the Tati and without a crystal ball debacle. I find it so entertaining. It's like my reality television right there. But I like the legal stuff because I like to think nerdy, and I like I just like the legal aspects of it and the strategies, kind of trying to figure out what each attorney is doing. So I find that fascinating. But anyway, Emily does those lives every week. So I try to make them, but sometimes she'll do them on Instagram. I'm like, I can't right now. So I always feel badly for those who are like, wait, why are you doing a live right this minute? I can't right now. I can't. So I try to schedule them. Yes, that is typically me. Yeah, that's generally how I am. I've been making lists since I was 10 years old. I have severe anxiety, and I've had anxiety since I was really little. And simple little things like cleaning my bedroom could overwhelm me. And I found that making a list and breaking it down to little components really helps me to not feel overwhelmed by a task. So if the task is to clean my bedroom, then the idea is, okay, put this away, like put the dirty clothes in the wash, make the bed, take out the garbage, put makeup away. At least this is the adult version of it. When I was a kid, it was more specific, like put the Barbies away or put the Tonka trucks away or whatever it was. But I would make a little list, and then I felt good about crossing them off. So that's why I use this app, is because you can handwrite it onto the app, and then you can cross it off. And I think you can sync this to your phone as well, or you could schedule the items. So that way it's a little bit more, I guess, tech friendly. But I was also realizing that I was I would make a list and I would leave it here in my office, and then I would forget where I put it. Or I would go out and about, and then I'm like, wait, there's some stuff I was supposed to do. And then I realized I left my handwritten list here. So at least with my iPad, I can sync it, and it's not so hard to track. So I'm doing it that way. Plus, trying to save on paper. I'll be honest, actually. Yep, here's a list right here. This is one I didn't get through, apparently. Like Saturday, shower, take out the garbage, sweep, make banana bread, prime the back wall, which this is my back wall that I'm referring to, because I still need to paint it. I'm getting sidetracked, ADD or something. But anyway, those are like the tasks that I generally write down. But I'm finding that the app is kind of fun too. I still get that, like I'm writing it out feel. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll switch that. I will switch that to the Hot Topic one then. Where did I put? Okay. So I pulled these papers out, and now I can't find the one I wrote these things on. I cracked myself up. What can I say? There it is. Perks of being in school. You have notebook paper everywhere. Okay. Hot Topic lip liner in magenta. Cool. That I will do. I should probably, no, I'm good. I was going to make a little note in each little space here, but I just lost all the numbers, and I have to go back through. So, isn't she great? Oh, I'm actually even a member to her channel because I love her content so much. I actually watched this as I was doing some of the declutters and adding things into my spreadsheet last night. So I would go between filming and then charging my batteries and doing my input to the spreadsheet, and kind of switch back and forth while watching her live stream from yesterday. I don't know. she definitely, I'm so glad I found her. And man, she's blown up so fast since November. Yeah, November. Like I remember back, this sounds so like so long ago at this point, but it definitely was. It was just a couple months back. But it's like I remember when she only had like 10,000 subscribers and like I was one of them. And now she's like big. Which is really cool to see someone grow so quickly. And she deserves it because she's wicked smart and she's funny and I love that she's unabashedly herself. I love the cursey words. I love it all. I love it all. Like in real life, she would be my people, you know? She actually reminds me of one of the friends I had back in early college, a very long time ago. Very fun, very fun. All right, so yay, I'm excited about my Project Pan stuff, but I also wanted to show off a few of the things that I got over the last month or two, because this is before my no buy and my beauty resolutions have kicked in. Oh, actually forgot. I mentioned this already. It's the Oprah palette that I got in the mystery box. This is the glitch one. I don't they called it the Black Friday palette. I don't think it was launched around Black Friday. I think it was a release from earlier in the year and they're just re-promoting it. This one's such a cool palette. I love gray tones. In fact, I'm always on the search for a really great gray that doesn't turn too red or too blue in the crease. I want it to stay gray. Sometimes it turns brown, so I'm always on the hunt. So I'm hopeful that these grays will be really nice. As I said, I haven't tried it yet. I have swatched it though. And I like that they have like typical eyeshadows on the peripheral of the palette, but the center ones here are more of their kind of highlighter formula. Let's see. 13,000. Yeah, that's around the time I joined as well. Oh, so it's Emily D. Baker. There we go. There we go. Emily D. Baker. Oh, thanks, Sam. You already got to it. Yeah, she's awesome. She's not a drama channel per se. Like she keeps it classy for the most part, but she'll dig some shade. Like at the lawyer, she'll like put some shade out there, and it cracks me up. And I've had to take a lot of law for business law specifically for my business, and for some of the consulting work I've done over the years to help. I've helped a lot of business owners get their businesses started. So there's a lot of stuff that I had to really know in and out of. And obviously I'm not an attorney, but I still had to study the law. But there's so many things where I'm like, ooh, I can't believe they did that. That's so like, that's tortious behavior. No. Like that's not good. So I'm like, ooh, I know that stuff. And law has been so boring to me. There was a point in my youth where I thought, oh, I want to go to law school and I want to become an entertainment lawyer. But entertainment law is boring. It is super boring. It's all contracts, maybe some PR stuff if you get someone who is just like, a little out there and having some like major legal problems. But yeah, entertainment law was what I wanted to do. I don't know why I thought that sounded interesting. I thought maybe it was the glamour of, oh, I get to work with these celebrities, but honestly, it's really boring stuff. But business law is interesting. I don't know. It's interesting. I know contracts really well. At my last job, I was at the company for like almost 7 years. In the last couple of years, I had to work with our legal team pretty closely because I worked in a highly regulated environment where a lot of the marketing that I would do, I had to run it through legal and I had to learn all of these little nuances like, oh, I can't say that because of XYZ. Or if I say it this way, then I have to include this disclosure and this disclosure needs this information in it and so on and so forth. So it was boring. Like I was good at it, but it was boring. It wasn't something I was passionate about. However, Emily D. Baker made me excited about law again. So maybe, I don't know, this is just something I'm thinking about. But when I'm ready for grad school, I might take the LSAT and kind of see where I land with that. But I'm also taking a plan. I can't talk. I get so excited. I just talk too fast. My mouth can't keep up with my brain. Anyway, it's I'm thinking of doing the LSAT and the was it GMAT or the GRE? I forget which one of those I want to take. I can take either one, but there was one specifically that I wanted to take for business school. Either way, I am going to take both of them and kind of see where that goes. I might go to business school or I might go to law school. We'll see. Or business school as in, you know, pursuing an advanced MBA kind of degree instead of, you know, so we'll see. So I think Harvard offers a dual program where you can earn both your law degree and an MBA at the same time. But we all know Harvard, you got to have a lot of money for that. And to do a dual program like that, I'm sure I would be I would be in debt up to my ears with that one. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Well, thank you. I gotta say, I got my mama's cheekbones from the Native American side. I think I have my dad's brows. I always laugh at my brows because my dad had kind of these weird, he had a really strong arch, more like this. There we go, like that. And we used to joke around saying, oh, dad's mad. Oh, never mind. Nope, he's mad again. Nope, he's not. Because he would just lift his eyes just subtly like this, and all of a sudden it would look like he's we would make fun of him. He didn't like that too much, but we did it anyway. But I have kind of his brow shape, but I look a lot like my mom. I wish I could do a screen share because I could show you a picture. But yeah, I get told I look a lot like my mom. And then my dad's side or my mom's side is always like, oh, you look like your dad. I'm like, I look like both, I guess. But yeah. And I'm wearing my mom's sweater today, so I especially feel like my mom. No, that sounded weird, but you know what I mean. I think maybe. Yeah, it definitely does. Right now, I'm in a really great position where my financial aid, I finally get financial aid. So I haven't been working full time for a year. And now that I'm not, I actually qualify for financial aid, which is amazing. Because otherwise, I would have to pay more than $15,000 per year for my education. I have about 2.5 years left to finish my dual degree because I'm doing 2 bachelor's degrees right now. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. But yeah, $15,000 per year is a lot of money. So I'm at a point where thankfully I got financial aid. I still have to take out student loans, but I don't have to take out nearly as much as I would if I had, you know, stayed with my other job and I was still making the money I did at that point. I mean, I miss the money, don't get me wrong, but there's some perks to not being a full-time employee and just kind of doing my own thing now. Oh my gosh, yeah, I believe it. It is no joke. Like, if you want to be a lawyer, you are committed because once you start, you better finish because it is so expensive. Even state schools are expensive. I haven't even looked at the cost of law school. I'm kind of like, I mean, any advanced graduate school is expensive in general. I mean, in most regards, you'll make that money back. It does take time for that rate of return the return on investment, excuse me, I've got the wrong terminology there, return on investment. But like with law, it takes a while. It depends on if you go public and you go with like, you work for, let's say, wow, I just lost words. I just had a brain fart. It depends if you go public and you work in like the DA's office or some sort of ADA or DDA or whatever kind of function in society where you do criminal law, or you could do private. You can still do criminal, but be a private attorney and do defense, or you could do other stuff like business, which that's actually where a lot of money is in the business side. A lot of the attorneys I worked with at my last job were making like 200 grand a year just because they worked in corporate. So the only thing about working in corporate as a lawyer that would kind of make me hesitant to do that is that employment law is really sticky, and a lot of companies are very, like, if you sign a non-disclosure agreement as an employee, or when you first join a company, it could be really difficult to have your rights protected as an employee, because anything that you create as an individual could potentially be owned by the company. So, for example, with this business that I own now, if the company I worked for ever entered into the beauty space, I could potentially lose my business in them wanting to own it if I hadn't declared that I own this prior. So any patents or copyrights, things like that, could potentially be owned by your company if you sign a special employment contract saying that any intellectual property that you create while employed by them is theirs. So I feel kind of weird about practicing that kind of law where I'm essentially screwing over people in the favor of the company. So I'm kind of like, yeah. Oh, well, that's cool though. Sociology, I'm actually taking Psych 101 right now because I had a hard time getting into any of the classes I need for my majors, because I'm doing a double major, but because my school is particular, they separate it into two different bachelor's degrees. So I'm doing communication studies, which is a Bachelor of Arts, and then I'm doing a Bachelor of Business Administration, which is a BA, just separate degree, just because of the way they have it set up at the school. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And I'm sure you know that, Claire, but at least sociology and psychology are somewhat similar in the approach that you take with it, with social sciences. Sociology was a major that I was thinking about for a while, that and or anthropology with a focus on cultural anthropology. I'm still thinking about it. I mean, I've already got my path set. I know what I want to do with my with my degrees, but I'm always like, maybe I should minor in that. Maybe I should minor in this. I am just one of those lifetime learners who just loves knowledge. So it's hard to pick, but I'm set. I'm not changing the majors. I'm not changing those degrees because I worked too hard to get all the prerequisites done, and now I'm here and I don't want to stray from that, but I might change my minor. My minor was originally Native American Studies, and I still want to do that, but I haven't been able to get into any of the classes I want. And it turns out some of the classes I had taken at my other school they don't count towards the degree as I thought they did. So I'm kind of having to start all over with the minor. Whereas the political science minor, I already have some credits that I can apply towards that. So, and I'm taking a political science course this quarter. So we shall see. We shall see. Oh, well, that's University of Buffalo. Well, that's kind of cool at the same time because it's kind of an international approach, but yeah, it can be really expensive. We have, what do they call them? Charter schools. They're charter universities. So my previous community college, whatever, actually has a charter school within their campus from some of the other universities here in Washington. But instead of having to go way across the other side of the state, across the mountains to Ellensburg, which is about 3 hours away from here, you could take those classes at the community college instead. Or if you wanted to go to Washington State, which is it's like 5 or 6 hours away, then you can take them at the local college as well. So that's the benefit of it. But yeah, it can be expensive. And then now you're in Germany, so it's funny how that works, isn't it? Oh no, that. Sorry to take that and kind of spin it into a not so serious situation, but that kind of reminds me of Grey's Anatomy with how intense they are in the show. Like, don't do that, you're going to mess up your residency. But that is such a bummer to go through all of that. Can they do research? I'm not sure how that works because I was on the med track. I actually did so many of those prereqs long time ago. It's actually I'm getting off topic here, but because I'm taking psych right now, we're doing neuroscience and study of the nervous system. And all of my previous medical biology prerequisites for pre-med, like all that's still up in my noggin. So that's been really helpful. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the synaptic cleft. I know that. I'm like, cool. I don't have to like really study this too hard to know that the sodium comes in and it's a positively charged, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, well, I'm so glad you got to hang out as long as you did, Louise. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day and we'll chat soon. Bye. Yeah, communications. I know we're wearing our mom's sweaters today. We both love our makeup. We have similar majors. I don't know. Maybe you're like my clone from another country or something. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, I got off track again. So going back to this palette, the Glitch palette from Ofra, I was going to swatch it and then I totally spaced. Okay, I'm going to move my chai tea. I've been so clumsy lately. I have knocked over 3 of these, and downstairs in my living room, I have my coffee table, and I was 3 times has happened in the last couple of weeks where I was moving my drink and it got knocked over and it spilled all over my table. It spilled all over the floor, got on my couch, and I have an off-white couch. Thankfully, this is not too dark, but still everything shows up on white. So I was so mad. So I'm like, don't spill, don't spill. That would be awful to do even on especially on a live. That would be so embarrassing. Okay, that one's kind of an interesting color. So I'm only swatching the 3 in the center here. These 3. Ooh, hello. Let's hide that. So they're okay from what I can see. It's always hard to judge how good an eyeshadow will be just off of the swatches. But those feel really nice and silky. I don't know though if this is actually a good palette. I wish I brought my makeup brushes in here because I could just, but it is what it is. I do need to go to the grocery store in a little while. I ran out of milk. I've been obsessed with drinking my chai teas that I went through a gallon of milk in a week, which is really unheard of for me. But yeah, so this is a fun palette anyway. I'm trying to remember the name of the person who won it. Oh, her name's Felicia. She won the mystery box in the giveaway, so she'll be getting this palette. Hopefully she enjoys it because it's really cool. I think it's really pretty. Oh, no worries. Is it already dinner time for you? Oh, okay. Oh man, I haven't even eaten lunch yet. It's just 1 o'clock here. It's 1:25 here, so okay. Yeah, that's always nice when you can get some help. I'm feeling that way with my calculus class right now. Like I get the lectures. When she does the lectures, I understand all the materials. But then I go to do the quizzes or the homework and I'm like, huh? What are they asking me for? Because I don't get it. And I'm like, grr. So I'm going to do some tutoring because I'm generally okay at math, but this is all new stuff. Like I get how to do derivatives, like that makes sense to me, but then doing rate of return, average rate of return, and doing the primes and that sort of thing, that's just not clicking for me for whatever reason. Because I understand to do the derivative, but I'm not sure how to like apply it to a word problem, and that's where I'm like, I don't get what they're asking me. So anyway, I need to get some help. So yeah, it's nice that when you have the help, it's very helpful. Yeah, if you're not in research or you're not going into like biological psychology or biopsychology, then I don't think it really matters. It's funny because I thought I didn't remember that much from my AMP, which is anatomy and physiology. I didn't think I remembered much from those periods, but I remembered a lot more than I gave myself credit for. I'm like, oh yeah, so there's the the two ions. You've got potassium within the neuron cell, and then you've got the sodium, which is positively charged, or is it negatively? That's where I'm forgetting right now. You've got the sodium that comes in, and that changes the polarization of the cell where it flips it, and that's what sends the impulse or the action potential down the axon. So I'm like, yes, like I love it. It's so exciting to me. Prairie voles. Prairie voles. That doesn't come on. That doesn't ring the bell for me. You know, I used to be bad at math, and then I think just practicing the same stuff over and over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, I get that. But now I'm learning new stuff that I've never learned before, and I'm like, shoot. I think I shot myself in the foot taking, so I'm taking 4 classes right now because I wanted to finish my project management certificate at my community college. So I'm taking my final class there, and then I'm taking 3 courses at UW, is what we call it, UW, University of Washington. So I'm taking 3 at the university to keep full-time status so my financial aid and everything doesn't get affected. So I'm taking 4 5-credit classes, so it's 20 credit hours, which is like 5 hours of lecture for each class per week, not to mention all the other studying and homework and all that stuff. So I'm taking Psych 101, I'm taking religion in politics, which is that's a 300 level class, and it has a lot of reading. I'm taking my calculus, and I'm taking my project management managerial training, which is really fun. But yeah, it's a lot. So as psychology with all the sciencey stuff that we're doing right now, I'm like, oh, I'm taking that and math and a lot of reading in social sciences and this managerial class. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But it's all good. It's all good. I know that once this quarter is over, I'll be thankful that I have my project management certificate, and then I can focus 100% on UW. Flashback. Hey, that kind of has a little pun to it. Did you catch that? Because the electric volts from the neurocharges? Yeah. Okay, I got a little nerdy there. Oh, yep, yep. It's like, hey, help. Oh, okay, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I don't know. I will stop being nerdy. I'll talk about makeup again in a different nerdy sense. This is a palette here, let me hide this so you can actually see what I'm doing here. This is a palette I've been eyeing for a while, and I finally purchased it. It is from Pacifica. It is hemp infused, so it's got all the marijuana leaves on there. This one is the Cosmic Reflect palette. It's a little pricey. Like, you can get it at Target. The color story really spoke to me, and I've been wanting to try their eyeshadows. I have a lot of their other products that I've been trying over the years, and I just really enjoyed them. So I thought, you know what? This is my last purchase of 2020. Let's make it a good one. So I finally bought this. I haven't used it yet, but I've swatched it. I'm going to show you this purple. Show you in the green, because you all know I love green. Oh, hold on. Oops, I did not get a very good swatch of that. Okay. Oops, there we go. That purple. That purple is so pretty. And I like that grungy green too. You know, I love a grungy green. So the purple is called Cosmic, and the green is called Hemp Leaf, which is very appropriate for the kind of palette that it is. And these are some of the other shades in here that are really pretty. Let's see if I can remember which one's which. This one is Looking Glass. which is a really pale pink, but it's kind of got a duochrome shift to it, which is really cool. This one's Delphi. No, this one is more duochrome, so it's a little bit more orangey. The one right there. I'm gonna contort my hand here. There we go. Like, I don't know why I did it this way. The one that's shining is the other one. Anyway, it's not. I swatched it in the worst spot possible on my hand that I can't reflect into the light. But anyway, it's kind of a orangey peach base, and it's got a pink reflex to it. Oops. And then I've got this blue one here called Hot House. It's like a really pretty denim shimmer. But yes, I'm excited about this palette. I need to play with that as well. Like, I buy all these really pretty palettes, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to use that. And then I get stuck well, I don't get stuck. I just choose to use other things in my collection. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to use that too. I want to use that too. I want to use that too. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot I bought these. So like the palettes that I bought from Sigma, I still have not used them. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I've not used them yet. I will. I will. Oh, okay. I will look that up, I guess. It doesn't ring the bell for me, so I'm not sure. Yes, I do have Subculture, and I actually really like the palette. I love the color story. It is a little challenging to work with, but the key, at least in what I've noticed, is that you just take a little bit at a time and apply it very gently, and it builds up. You don't need to go ham on products like you do in some of the others. But yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's always a good thing. Those, is it like an oil diffuser? Because oil diffusers are awesome. I keep forgetting that I have one, but I also have to be, you have to be careful with certain oils with cats because they can be lethal. So I think it was lavender that you have to be really careful with. So, and I love the smell of lavender. I have this lavender spray that I put on my pillows before I go to bed. So as long as my cats don't go lying on my pillows, and they rarely ever do, I don't think they like the smell of the lavender, but I have to be careful with it. But I'm glad you're feeling better. Excuse me. So on Black Friday, I also placed a pretty substantial order on Juvia's Place. I never ordered on their website before. The palettes that I purchased from them were always done at Ulta. I will never order from their website again. I had a terrible experience with it. Granted, it was Black Friday, so I give them a little bit of leeway with that, but it took almost a whole month for my order to arrive, and they lost my package. So what happened is they put in, they sent the email saying, hey, here's your tracking number. We're all good. We'll get this to you. It should arrive by this date. And a week passes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to check on the tracking. And it's, when you go to check on the tracking, it says, hey, there's a label made, but it's never been received. So I was like, okay. So I emailed Juvia's Place's customer service, and I'm like, hey, can you just give me a quick update? Did this actually get sent out, or is this just delayed? Just let me know. I just want to make sure that it didn't get, lost somewhere. No response. So I emailed again a few days later, waited, still no response. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Nothing had changed on my tracking. So I went onto Twitter and I tweeted them saying, hey, I've heard that they're like, I've not heard much from my order. Can, someone look into it? No response, except from somebody else saying they had the same problem as me. And then I emailed again, no response within a day or two. So I was like, okay, this is getting really frustrating. Finally, I sent kind of a nastygram, as I call them. I'm like, look, if you can't fulfill my order, fine. We just cancel my order. If you don't cancel it, I'll dispute it with my bank. And then finally, like a day later, I get this email, and it's like, hey, so I sent this over to our shipping team. They'll investigate. If you don't hear back from us within the next 3 to 5 business days, go ahead and email us back. What? Why would I do that? Why can't you take the initiative to look into it and get back to me? So I was not too happy. And then it showed up randomly. The whoever delivered it left it on my porch, and I had no idea it was being delivered, so it sat in the pouring rain for several hours. I brought that box in and it just fell apart. It was so soggy, it just disintegrated. Thankfully everything inside was fine because they wrapped it up in bubble wrap, but oh my gosh, I was so mad. I was so mad. But anyway, I placed this giant order on Juvia's Place website on Black Friday because they had amazing deals. Ulta had some really great deals on the Juvia's Place palettes as well, but their own website had way better deals. For example, the Wahala 2 palette, I got it for just under $20, and I think it's a $38 palette. And as much as I hated the experience I had on their website, there's something to be said about their products. Their shadows are so good. They made it onto my naughty list for their bad customer service, but not enough. It wasn't so egregious that I'm like, I can't support them anymore, because I absolutely adore their products and I've never had any issues with them other than my shipping. So maybe it was just because of the holidays. Maybe not near, but maybe in the future, I will give them another shot and see if I have a better experience. But for now, I'll just buy them from Ulta. But I did buy this palette and I absolutely love it. And there is a there is a multi-chrome in here. Is it a multi or duo? No, it's a duo. It's called Fake. I got this everywhere. It's kind of messy, but it's so soft and it's so pretty. So it looks purple and then pow, it's green. Purple and green. Purple and green. Yeah. Such a pretty shadow. I mean, everything in here is so pretty. I could just sit here and swatch. It's one of my favorite things to do when I need to relax is I'll just go to my palette drawers and I'll pull a palette and I'm like, I'm just going to swatch it. It's like a little therapy. Sometimes I'll do my makeup. I used to do my makeup all the time when I was just feeling kind of ick. But sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. I just feel like doing this because it's like ASMR. It's like, yes, so satisfying. Oh, wrong color. There it is. And I love my greens and I love my blue, I love my greens and I love my purples. Apparently I don't know that that was purple. But yeah, they're so gorgeous. I'm excited to play with this a bit more. Yeah, I don't think lavender is good for them, so they know to stay away. I wish they would stay away from my aloe plant. My sister gave me this beautiful aloe plant starter. Well, it's not a starter. It's a big aloe plant. And I had it on my dining room table thinking, oh, it's perfect because it will capture the sun. I came in the next day and there's soil everywhere. And the larger, what do you call it? It's not a leaf, but it's I don't know what it's called, stem, whatever it is, whatever long one it is, it was broken in half. Thankfully, aloe, it doesn't kill the plant to do that, but I was so mad. My cat got into it. She destroyed the pot. I had such a big mess to clean up. So I moved it onto my credenza against the wall and thought, okay, maybe she won't see it now. She got up on there and soil everywhere. And I actually store some of my alcohol in bottles of wine and things like that on my credenza. So I was like, dang it, now I have to like wash everything off. I was not happy. She did it again when I moved it. So I was like, okay, now I have it up really high where she can't get to it. But yeah, I wish she would, or I know it was the one kitty. I know who did it. I know the culprit, the cat prit. Anyway, I know who did it. And I wish she would have that reaction to my aloe like she does to the lavender. Okay, good to know. That is a bummer. Like, I get it if they only have maybe 1 or 2 people staffed, but they're a bigger company now. Like, they're indie, but they're actually making it, I don't feel like they're as indie anymore because they're an Ulta and they've gotten they're sold in, I think other retailers are carrying them now. I don't know. Oops, my chair's loud. I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like there's no excuse for that now. Like Shroud Cosmetics, so it's owned by one person and she was doing everything herself. She pressed all of the eyeshadows herself and she fulfilled all the orders herself. And even with the It's Freaking Bats palette that they did with Butte Bean, you know, she at least, you know, was responding and giving people updates and saying, hey, email this email, and if you have any issues with your address or whatever, you know, just email and we'll get back to you. And I've never heard any issues with the customer service. And she's now, I think, only a 2-person team. So for something like Juvia's Place to have that kind of bad customer experience in comparison to someone who's much smaller, but they had such an influx of orders come in because Butte Bean has some, you know, some social clout, and that palette was amazingly beautiful. So I just don't understand the disconnect there, and it was disappointing. But as I said, it's not egregious enough for me to give them up because they're so lovely. Oh, that's cool. I think I remember you saying you had some Juvia's Place palettes. I couldn't remember. But that's cool that you can get them at retailers in Germany. So that's probably good, so you don't have to deal with the really bad customer service. Yep. Yeah, I can see that they wouldn't. Like, nobody responded to my tweet, and I had other people saying, yep, I've had this problem too. Like, oh, that stinks. Like, if you can't even be bothered to, you know, respond to someone on social, then why be on social? Just saying. Oh, the Wahala palette? Okay, wait till you see these ones. Actually, I don't remember if you have any of these ones. These ones are those smaller 6 pans. Oh, and I did use them. I used 2 of them in my, which one was it? It was the Barbie look that I did for MS. I used, where? Oh, no, never mind. Nope, that's not it. Oops. No, here it is. Okay. So I used this one in the MS. This one is the Nubian Royal because it's purple. And then I used the pinks, the sweet pinks. I think this one's my favorite because these are so gorgeous. This screams Barbie to me. I don't care. It screams like pretty sophisticated Barbie to me. Here, give you a better look. I love that softer pink. It's so pretty, this one here. I do it because I love makeup and I know how much everybody else loves makeup. And if I go on Facebook and say, hey guys, I got this gorgeous palette, what do you think? Everyone's like, okay, great, cool. I don't like it as much as you do. You're a nerd. Bye. At least I can talk about makeup with my peeps here on YouTube's. Okay, so I have these 2. And then I have the violets one because, you know, I said I love purple. Good for you. I'm sort of on that no buy, 1 purchase per month, so I'm being really picky and choosy, which I find to be harder than being on a no buy because you know you can spend money, but you're like, oh, but I want to spend it on the right thing so you don't end up spending it anyway. Maybe it's technically a no buy then. This one I like too. Oh, so I'll do a little comparison really quickly between the 2 so you can see them together. So this is the Nubian Royal, and then this one's the violets. There we go. So this one definitely has a little bit more of these lighter tones and some deeper tones as well, like with that one. This one has, I don't know, I feel like it's not as, I feel like this is a little bit more blue based, whereas this one's a little bit more kind of pastel shades. I don't know. They're all unique colors. None of them are the same at all. So that was awesome. I feel like these, if I were to depot these, this would be the most amazing purple palette ever. Okay, let's see. I was thinking about it, but they weren't on sale. They didn't have the sale on that first Wahala palette. It was only on the Wahala 2, which was fine because I've heard so many wonderful things about it. So maybe one day I'll get the first one. We'll see. I don't need it. I don't need it. I talked myself out. I always talk myself out of getting things, but I allowed myself to get these because I wanted them all. Oh, yeah, I saw them. I was at Ulta the other day. As I said, I had to pick something up for the giveaway. And I was looking at the masquerade. I'm like, do I want to use my monthly purchase on this? Do I want to? And I'm like, no, pass for now. Because I've got all my brand new ones. I don't need to buy another new one. That's just going to sit there. So, I don't know. Maybe one day, but at the same time, I don't know. We'll see. If they come out, well, they've come out with those quads, and I'm kind of intrigued, but not enough to actually go out and purchase them. But if they come out with another kind of Wahala type palette, there we go. If they come out with another one that's kind of along these lines, or maybe even a smaller 6-pan that has really cool colors, then maybe I'll consider buying it. But for now, I'm just going to hold off until I see something that I can't live without, or I'll buy things for my business so I can review. Like, I wasn't planning to get the pumpkin spice palette from Too Faced, but then something told me to get it. Like, I liked the color story. The purples were intriguing to me. A lot of people were saying, oh, why do they need purples in a fall pumpkin palette? Like, that doesn't make sense. But that's actually exactly why I bought it, because I thought it's a limited edition item. People will watch it and then it will never get views again. But that was, I mean, they offered the gingerbread palette again this last year, so maybe they'll do another pumpkin spice palette launch for this upcoming year. But anyway, I digress. Buying something to review on my channel. I don't want to be strictly reviews on my channel. I like doing the makeup looks and kind of talking through stuff. And I want to do my Beauty and the Brain series. I have all my notes on ColourPop. That's the first brand I'm going to do. Kind of a deep dive in so that everyone knows the dirt about ColourPop from a business sense. So I have those plans to do. So I don't want to focus too much on reviews, but if there's something that I'm like, yes, I should do that, then I'll focus on that too. But anyway, yeah, I've heard that. Who is it? Angie Nivquist. I hope she says her last name in a video someday so I know how to pronounce it. But she was talking about those e.l.f. quads, those, what are they, $3 here in the US, that they're close to like $12 there in Sweden. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really expensive. Not available? That's weird. That's such a bummer. Sorry. You can live vicariously through me, I guess. I don't know. This palette. I don't normally gravitate towards yellow eyeshadows. I like golds, but I have so many that I'm like, man, I don't need any more golds. But this palette, I was like, oh, that color story though. I can't pass on that. I love it. This is so pretty. I don't care much for like chunky glitter eyeshadows, but this one's really neat at the bottom here. It's, whoop, there we go. It's kind of got an orange pumpkin-y kind of vibe to it. And golds are shades that can be tricky to put together in a palette without them all looking the same. Whoa, this is so cool. But they're all uniquely different. Like this one's a duochrome here on the end. It shifts kind of a green. And then this one here is like just a really bright, vivid gold. This glittery one, it reflects this orangey one here. And then, there we go. Has green in it, which is really cool. And then I love this pale yellow on the end. It's just really gorgeous. Yeah, the violets one is really pretty. The only thing about the violets and the pink palette is that it stains your eyelids. I learned that the hard way after doing that Barbie video. And I had pink eyelids for like 2 days afterwards. Oh. That's a bummer. Well, that could, I don't know. That's pretty tempting, isn't it? Do you want to see it again? It is a really pretty palette. It does stain your eyelids though, especially this one here. There we go, right here. This has a lot of pigment in it. Like, it's like kapow. It's gorgeous, but I mean, it's, yeah. So if that deters you, then maybe you can skip it. But it is really pretty. Uh-oh, we've got enablers here. We're enablers. Yeah, I agree. I would not have bought it at the time I was buying, because I bought some stuff for the giveaway, as you guys saw or may have seen. I had the Nubian palette, and then I gave a Nubian palette to my sister for Christmas, and then I have one, this one. I wanted to try it because even though it's basic neutrals, it looked really pretty when I saw swatches of it, so I wanted it. I like neutral palettes. I'm boring in AF sometimes. But I wanted to try it. And plus, this was on sale for like $6 on Black Friday. So I bought 3. And then I had everything in my shopping basket, and I knew that the sale was going on all day Black Friday, so I wasn't in the biggest rush to buy it. So I had everything in my shopping basket, and I went back. So this was on Thanksgiving evening, so that Thursday night, I had everything in my shopping basket, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until the morning to place my order. I'm too tired. I'm gonna go to bed. And then the next morning I woke up and I had logged in, and I saw on the main page that they had like a 3-hour sale on the Wahala 2 palette, where instead of being the 30 some odd dollars, it was only like $19. So I was like, yes, please. Click, click. Yay. So when I was having all those issues with Juvia's Place not potentially shipping my order, I was like, if I have to cancel that order and lose out on that $19 deal on that Wahala 2 palette, I'm going to be mad, because I'm never going to see that palette that cheap again unless they discontinue it and it goes on clearance. I was none too happy, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have it. Welcome back. Yes, cool. I'm so excited. As I said, I have all my notes on that together. Like I was using that Noteful. I need to remember what the name of that app is, but I was using that to write out all my notes, like their origins and their business model to the owner's past and where they came from and why they're able to mass produce collections and products, why everything. And then I have some access to some business insights programs that professionals have, like Mergent, so I can pull some information and data from them. But they're still a private company, so it's really hard to find specific data on financials, because they're not required to disclose as much as a publicly traded company would be. So they still file tax returns and all that stuff, but that information's a little bit harder to come by without having like really expensive subscriptions to, like, with background stuff. Like yeah, it's just I don't want to go that deep in. I don't need to, but I have some access to things that maybe the average person won't be able to see. So yeah, I actually have a whole list of different makeup-y or beauty related, I won't say companies because it's not all companies, but beauty related topics I want to do a deeper business dive into. So there's some really fascinating people who throughout history have done some really cool things in the beauty sphere, from businesses to products. And I'm fascinated with beauty history. So I'm going to do, I want to do a deep dive on a lot of different things. So I just need to make that time and make it possible. Maybe I'll be able to film tomorrow. I'll have to look at my schedule and see if that's going to be possible, because I have a lot of homework that I have to do this weekend. So cross your fingers. Maybe I'll be able to film it tomorrow. But I filmed all of the decluttering videos, and I ran out of, so I deleted everything off my memory card, and I have a 64 gigabyte SD card that I use in my camera. I filled that up entirely with all of my decluttering footage. And in the middle of filming, I ran out of space, so I had to pause filming. I had to come back to my computer, dump all the files, delete everything off of it, and I started filming again, and I'm almost full. So there's over 100 gigabytes worth of video footage that I need to sift through, and those videos will be up. I'm not going to upload them all at the same time. I'm going to stagger them so you don't get burnt out and bored of the same decluttering kind of stuff. Plus, I wear like the same outfit in all those videos because I filmed a lot of it all in, like, I filmed a couple of segments in different days, but it's going to look like I wear the same outfit all the time. So, but anyway, yeah. Nyquist. Okay. That V in there is what throws me off because it looks like a U sometimes. So I'm like, oh, it's Nyquist. And then I'm like, wait, Nyquist. Okay, Nyquist. Maybe I'll just call her Angie N. Nyquist. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. You totally should come to Seattle. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, it would be so fun to have someone come visit and I could take them all around town and show them all the cool things. Of course, nothing's cool right now because everything's shut down. But when everything opens up again, you totally should come. That would be so much fun. There's a great music scene here in Seattle. Of course, I don't know what that'll look like post-COVID days, but there's a lot of really good music scenes. Food, if you're a foodie, lots of really great food here. Everything under the sun. The US is pretty much, there's a reason we're called a melting pot. You literally can get anything you want here in the city. There is a Chinatown that has really great food. There's Little Saigon. There's what is it called? They're little what do you call them? Districts. There's the international district, but then it's broken up into different segments as well with different communities from various Asian countries, which is really cool because you can get some really great things there. There's this one place down in the international district that has the best ramen ever. But yeah, if you come, I'll show you around. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Oops, wrong one. Yeah. Oh, see, I wear color all the time. I even wore it at my job. However, I had to be strategic with it. So some days, if I were, sometimes I was client facing maybe twice a week. I used to come on camera like this and do lives, but in a webinar format. So I would be talking to like 1,000 people at one time, educating them on products or educating them on how to convert leads and how to talk to customers or whatever it was. So I had to look the professional part because it was in finance. I couldn't, just talk to like bankers and mortgage people and be like, I'm wearing like electric blue eyeshadow and glitter and bright pink lipstick. Like, hey, take me seriously because, I look the best professional who should be teaching you how to talk to clients. Like, you like my glitter today? But I did wear a lot of color at work when I wasn't client facing. I didn't do full beat. I will wear foundation when I feel like my face needs it, but I'm not someone who wears foundation every day. I'll do concealer, a little bit of concealer, and then I'll do my brows and mascara on kind of an average day. But there are days where I just, I like to wear eyeshadow and I'll do colors. I'll like that purple Barbie look. I would have worn that out had I not needed to take a shower because I didn't wash my hair and it was kind of gross. And I was feeling kind of gross when I did that video. I'm like, I'm just going to play with it and get this video out. Like, oh man, I was just thinking I was going to play with it. And I wasn't sure what it was going to turn out to be. So I was like, it's fine because if it'll probably not turn out the greatest because sometimes I'll do editorial looks and they don't look like amazing when I do them in the first go about. So I was thinking, oh, it's not going to look that great. And that's fine because I just take a shower afterwards and no big deal. And then I was like, dang it, I really like this look, but I would have worn that out. Oh, the Beauty and the Brains one. I don't want to say I hope that's what happens because I don't know. But I see people like Smoky Glow who does those kind of deeper dives in on brands and such. I see her getting a lot of views from that, but the difference between my videos and hers is that I would be taking more of a business approach to it because that's my expertise. You know, I've been a business consultant and kind of a marketing guru. I won't say guru, that sounds gross to me, but a marketing expert and copy content. So I've done copywriting and journalism for over 15 years, and then I've done a lot of online marketing stuff and content like videos. Being on YouTube for 11 years, you learn a lot about social media, video production, commercial crafting, production, directing. Like I have a lot of weird niches that I'm like an expert in. So like anyway, I do consulting. So business and that kind of back end stuff is my expertise. And then having worked in corporate as someone who was an insider, so in publicly traded companies, as an insider, you have access to information that the general public doesn't have access to, which means that you're held to higher standards by the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to be very careful about. You're not allowed to sell stocks. That's why Martha Stewart went to prison, because she did insider trading and she wasn't supposed to. She did that to save her money. Anyway, so I was an insider. I had access to a lot of information. I had to make a lot of big decisions at the company I was at. So I have kind of, I won't say I was an executive because I wasn't, but I had executive powers in some of the position that I was in. So, and a lot of leadership. So I have like these different hats that I've worn. And I think that would be so cool to bring to the beauty space because I don't really see a lot of people talking about it in that sense. And I like to geek out and nerd out on it. So we'll see. We'll see. Cross your fingers. Maybe. Yeah, so I did, well, I've already done all my blushes and highlighters and contour bronzers. I didn't do it on my foundations. I've already decluttered all my foundations and my concealers. I didn't want to do that one on camera because that one was really hard for me to go through because I had to test it on my face and then I had to wash my face off, or I would keep it on my face for like an hour to see if it oxidized. So that one was going to be too hard to film, and I just wanted to get it done and over with. But I still have all the products I decluttered in a bin under my desk, and anytime I have a product that I'm getting rid of, I just kind of toss it in there. So I'll have an empties video coming up soon, and I'll tie that in with my Project Pan update from the video I did a couple months back. So I'll tie those into one single video. But I'll talk a little bit about the decluttering process of my foundations and concealers. Um, yeah, I love declutter videos. I think they're just so relaxing. I do the live cast from my phone to my smart TV, and I just throw them on. So if I'm just kind of lounging around the house and I just need some background noise, or I'm working on something like I was last night with, adding everything into my spreadsheet, just typing it all out, saying, oh, this is XYZ lip liner, let me type that. Like, I like to have that background noise, so I'll put a declutter video on. Oh, okay, thanks, Nyquist. There we go. Okay, so I was saying it correctly for a while there, and then I got confused with the V. Okay, cool. I have not yet. I saw the update and I haven't watched it yet. Last night I was allowing myself. I watched two videos yesterday. I watched the live stream from Emily D. Baker, and that's like 2.5 hours. I love her, but man, her streams are really long. So I was watching that, and then I watched the most recent Leisha video. She's X Sparkage. Leisha. She did a video on the new ColourPop Animal Crossing collection, and even though I'm not buying from ColourPop, I was intrigued enough to watch the video because I wanted to see if it was a good collection or not, because people talk about it anyway, and I want to be brushed up with the pop culture of it all. But anyway, I didn't get to watch it yet. It's on my must-watch list. I'm excited to see it because Kaleidos is on, or Kaleidos, excuse me, because she says Kaleidos, and then I'm like Kaleidos, and everyone else is like, it's Kaleidos, like kaleidoscope. Kaleidos is actually on my list of the brands I want to try this year because it's a minority owned brand. I think it's the owners are Chinese. So I'm excited because that is on my, they're on my list and I could use it as my one purchase. And yeah, that will be it. Oh, yeah, their highlighters look amazing. But in going through all my highlighters recently, I'm like, okay, I have funky colors in here I haven't used. I have some duochrome highlighters from Makeup Geek that are amazing that I haven't used that often. So I'm kind of like, do I need any more highlighters? No, because how many ways can you do those colors? Like, there's only certain colors that look really nice on me, and it's like I probably already have all those colors times two, so do I really need any more? Do I really need any more? But palettes, like I could have every single color in the rainbow in an eyeshadow format, but if you change up the color story, I'm like, I need that, I want that, I have to have it. My kryptonite. Well, maybe someone needs to buy it for you. Is your birthday coming up anytime soon? I know Sam's and my birthday are coming up. Claire, did you know this, that Sam and my birthday are a day apart and we're the same age? So she was born exactly one day after I was in the same year. So that's kind of funky, isn't it? Because my birthday is February 10th and hers is the 11th, right? 11th? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm remembering that correctly, but it was one day. Ooh. Oh, I forgot that you guys were talking about Makeup Geek. I, so Makeup Geek, since a lot of my single eyeshadows are from them. They're not on my list this year of the brands I want to try, but I definitely want to buy the 2 Matrix palettes and try out their new formula. Because I was going through my single eyeshadows, and I think I have over 30 single eyeshadows from Makeup Geek. Marlena's brand is so great. I've actually met Marlena twice. She is genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met, and I love supporting brands where the brand owners are really nice to anyone. They don't care. Yeah, she's just a sweetheart. And it's funny because I met her 2 times in California. One was in San Francisco at a blogging event that I went to, and it was really exclusive and small. Like it's from an organization that I belong to, and she was a speaker there. Actually flew down to San Fran for that. And actually I got the ticket because of because of Makeup Geek. I entered a giveaway and she gave the ticket out. And I'm like, okay, I'm flying down to San Francisco for the day. So I did that because San Francisco is only a 2-hour flight from here. But that's where I met her the first time. And then I met her a second time at Fame Expo in Los Angeles a couple years, like 2 years later, which was really cool. It was really cool to meet her. But now she lives in my area, and I have a general idea of where she lives, which is actually about an hour away from me, but I haven't seen her around. It's funny how there's so many people. I actually have met Taylor Wynn, and I didn't know who she was at the time. I hadn't ever heard of her channel, and I met her at an Ulta. I was walking around looking at foundations, and we started chatting, and I mentioned YouTube to her, and then she's like, oh, so have you ever heard of Taylor Wynn? I'm like, that name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've watched her videos. I don't know. I don't think yeah, it doesn't sound familiar to me. Fast forward a couple months, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I met her, and she was being a little facetious with me. It was so funny. Now I think about it, I'm like, dang it, I need to run into her again and ask her, hey, do you remember me? The person who didn't know who you were? Now I know who you are. It's so funny. Oh, yeah. So Seattle's not known for our pizza, I'll be honest. We don't have, like, we've got some places around here that have good pizza, but they're not going to be like your New York style or Chicago deep dish. Those are kind of more popular American treats, I guess, the Americanized versions of pizza. There are a couple places here that do pretty tasty pizza, though. They're a little expensive. One of them is called Pagliacci's. They have some really good pizza. Wow, pizza. And then there's Zeke's Pizza, but you're looking at spending more than $30 for a pizza, so it's a little pricey. I make pizza too, but um, steak, yes. Steak, oh, the most expensive, I can't talk, I just said expensive. Okay, the most expensive steak I ever have had was in Las Vegas. I was there for a work event with some, and my coworker goes, "Hey," because we had an expense account that we could use for food, but we had certain limits. And he goes, "Hey," because we had $100 limit that we could spend per day on food for our company to reimburse us. So he goes, "Hey, so there's this really great restaurant over at the Bellagio. It's a steakhouse, and I go there every time I'm here. Do you guys want to go?" And I'm like, "Sure, that sounds amazing." He goes, "Okay, but just so you know, if you your expense account isn't going to cover the cost of it, so you're going to have to pay extra." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So we went, and I ordered a $150 steak. And then the sides are separate. So when you order a steak, you're only getting the meat. You don't get a potato. You don't get any sides with it. Those cost extra. So if you want a side of potatoes or a side of vegetables, whatever, those are extra. So my total tab was like $180. It was the most expensive meal I've ever had in my life. But I'll tell you what, that filet mignon was amazing. It was so tender, I could just cut it with my fork. And I mean, steak, you usually have to use your steak knife, but it was so tender. I like mine rare. I like my steak rare. I'm one of those weirdos who likes it a little red. But it was amazing. And there are some places here in Seattle that do kind of the expensive steaks. I don't think you necessarily need to spend that kind of money to have a good steak. I mean, I grew up in Montana where you could go butcher a cow, have it sent, like you could go kill your cow, have it sent off to the butcher, have it come back. You can grind your own meat, and that's what my parents would do sometimes. So we had some really good steak. You don't have to spend that kind of money on it. But if you want to be fancy, you can get good steak. Oh, there it is. The comment jumped. Corn dogs. The best corn dogs you can get are not the frozen crap. Like the frozen crap, no, I won't eat those. You'll have to come in the summer months. That way we can go to the fair. There is the biggest fair around here is the Puyallup Fair, and it runs for a couple of weeks, and they have homemade fried hot dogs. Like they have fried everything, fried Oreos, fried cheese curds, fried butter. Ew, don't ask me why people eat fried butter, but they do. That sounds disgusting. But people like that stuff. I don't get it, but they're corn dogs. Hands down best because they're just freshly made right there with fresh cornbread batter. Anyway, yes, lots of good food options. Oh, thank you. Again, we're enablers. We're enablers. Oh, okay. I just saw your comments here. Sorry. Bye, Clara. Hope you have a great evening. Talk to you soon. Yeah, me too. Because Leisha's been on here for so long and her channel's been pretty stagnant, which is a bummer. Because I so I had the opportunity to meet her and I was too shy at the time because she was just kind of standing outside looking at her phone, and I felt kind of awkward being like, "Oh, should I run up to her and say, 'Hi, I love your channel?'" But I was like, "No, I'll leave her alone." Because I can't, was it Fame? It was one of those events at in Los Angeles. I think it was Fame, the same one that I met Marlena at. But she looked busy, so I didn't want to bother her. But yeah, she's one of my favorites. She always had those fun, bright, vivid makeup looks, and she and what's his name, Peterlude. They were some of the originals that I love to watch that had fun, funky makeup. And actually, another person who kind of disappeared recently is Julia Graff, or Mischievous. I loved her videos, but she has a second channel that she's starting to upload again, or upload to again, vlogs stuff. And she just uploaded a vlog video, and I'm like, yes, I'm all for it. I was like, giant comment on her video, like, please, please keep doing these. I miss you. Yeah, Makeup Geek is amazing. I know that they're trying to go through their redoing a lot of their international stuff. So I hope that they're able to, I don't know, maybe they can work with a retailer up there. I grew up in a town near the Canadian border. near Vancouver. Of course, that's pretty close. But I was like 10 miles away from the border. So I'm trying to remember because we used to get like Canadian TV, Canadian radio, because that's just where we were. Because we never had cable, so we always did the analog antennas before they changed to digital converter boxes. Anyway, we'd see all the commercials. By the way, I've yet to try a Tim Hortons, and I've been wanting to for years. Next time I go to Canada, I need to go to Tim Hortons. But anyway, going back to your comment here, sorry, I keep getting ADD squirrely here. But yeah, I hope she's able to find a retailer in Canada so that you don't have to order online and pay international shipping, because international shipping is no joke. No joke. It's so expensive. To send out one single, especially international, one small package to send out in my giveaway was $25. Another one was $27. So all those packages that I have to ship out for the giveaway, I'm like, yep, it's going to cost a pretty penny, but it's worth it. I'm not complaining by any means. It's expensive. So hopefully they'll find a retailer so you don't have to pay international shipping and customs every time. Yes, I'm so glad I got it right. If I had gotten it wrong, I would have been like, shade. I accept the shade and shame. Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I've met quite a few different YouTube influencers. I've met Candy Johnson a couple of times. I've met Marlena. I've met Charisma Star TV, Karis. I've met Promise Fawn, Michelle Fawn's sister-in-law. I've met her. Charity Vance, she used to be, she's not a beauty YouTuber, but she was on American Idol, and she had a YouTube channel dedicated to music, but she's kind of gone on the wayside. I haven't seen her upload in a really long time. Excuse me, a really long time. Let's see, who else? Oh, I've met Kat Von D. I met Jeffree Star. Both of them were not nice to me. Well, let me rephrase. Kat Von D was nice, but I think she was nice enough, but I think she was just overwhelmed by having been inundated with a group of people like, hey, can I get a picture with you? And she had come into the event I was at with Candy. So, of course, everyone's going all crazy. Like, oh my gosh, and screaming and shouting. Like, wow, that's when you know you've made it. Is when you've got like this swarm of people following you around. But anyway, that happened with Kat, and she was nice enough to take a picture, but like my picture turned out blurry, and I was like, hey, sorry, can we redo that? And she kind of ignored me, so I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then with Jeffree Star, a friend and I were at a booth, and he walked up, and she goes, oh my gosh, I love him. And she's like, can I get a picture with you? And he goes, sure. And then I went to take the picture, and he was just like, okay, like, get the picture done. And then I was like, can I get one? And then he just walked off. He completely ignored me. So I was like, okay, I guess I don't need to be in a picture with you. And now looking back, I'm like, probably for the best. It's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's so cool. If you go to any events, I know it's kind of hard when you don't live anywhere near places that they do these events. Like I know Toronto is probably one of the only places that gets anything similar. And Vancouver gets IMATs, but it's definitely not like LA or New York. Yeah. I saw their ads on Facebook for the old round pans. Like I have so many of those that I'm like, okay, I don't need to get the matrix right now. I have so many of the standard colors like latte and mocha, cocoa bear, back when it was still called cocoa bear, the corrupt, white lies, shimma shimma, that classic one, beaches and cream, peach smoothie. It's so funny, I know all these colors. Anyway, yeah, I really want to buy the Matrix. I think I'm going to hold off and wait on buying that until I'm able to go back and do makeup again professionally. Because I opened up my, well, at the beginning of 2020, I had opened a studio so that I could do my photography and makeup workshops and kind of do professional makeup again in a studio place, because freelance makeup artistry is all right, but it's so inconsistent, and I just no, I don't want to do freelance anymore unless it's like a really amazing gig that I can't pass up. But anyway, I might go and purchase those when I'm ready to hit it again. Hit it again. That's not the right way. I want to say that. Anyway, whatever. Oh yeah, forgot about Taylor Wayne. Yeah, yeah. I think about that now. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of funny, but I'm also like, oh man, I hope I didn't say anything stupid. I don't remember all the whole conversation, but I'm really like, I hope I didn't say anything stupid or where she's just like, girl, you really don't know anything about YouTube because you're probably like this small time person and I've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. But nope, I hope I didn't put my foot in my mouth, but yeah, I have a general idea of where she lives. So I'm like, maybe, well, I'm not a doxer and I'm not someone who's going to be creepy. But if I'm ever in that area and I go to a restaurant or something, then I hope maybe I run into her again. Then I'll ask her, hey, you remember me? I'm that weirdo who put her foot in her mouth and who just didn't know anything. Are they lagged? I know with me when I stream, I have about a 20 to 30-second delay where I'm talking and I know it's taking a couple of seconds, like 20 to 30 seconds for you guys to catch up to where I'm at. So I don't know. It might also be, I don't know. Sometimes that happens to me though. I'll look at the YouTube, what is it, that little play thing, whatever, where you can skip ahead. Sometimes I'll notice that it's behind, so I'll have to like push it to the end so that I can get caught up and not have to watch, a couple minutes behind or something. So that might be it. I don't know. I mean, at least I'm not monetized or anything, so it's not because of an ad or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, I know. It's the same with Krispy Kreme here in the States. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Krispy Kreme. We have got one there's one about 5 or 6 miles away from me, and I'll go there on occasion. There are a couple things that I like, but I don't like I feel like there are some local places that do way better donuts. There's this really great place here in Seattle called why am I spacing on this? Dang it. I feel like a dummy. Hold on. I gotta Google this because I'm having the biggest brain fart right now. Vegan donuts. It's not Top Pot. Top Pot is Top Pot is a really great donut place here in Seattle, but the one I'm thinking of is called Mighty O Donuts, and they're 100% vegan, but they're amazing. And then in Everett, which is a town about 30 miles north of Seattle, I live about halfway between Seattle and Everett. So I go to Everett every so often, and there's this bakery called Despy Delight. And I think they're a Filipino-owned bakery, but they have the most amazing donuts. So obviously you can find some really great donuts locally. You don't need to go to like a Tim Hortons or a Krispy Kreme to get good donuts. But just to say that I've tried it, it's like if you I'm trying to think of something that's exclusive here to the US that people are like, I want to try that. Oh, it's like In-N-Out. Like everyone's like, oh, In-N-Out's so great. You got to try it. And then you go there and you're like, that's good, but I've had better. I feel like that's how it is. Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, it does take some time to figure out which ones are worthwhile, and then if you want to spend the money and then take the time off for it. But yeah, if there's an event in Toronto, I mean, 4 hours is still a long drive, especially if you're going one way, and then you have to come back. That's a really long day. So it's definitely like an overnight trip, but sometimes it's worth it. I mean, I've skipped events because I didn't want to have to fly somewhere and then spend the money to stay the night just to spend more money at the event. But I feel like some of the events don't garner as much attention by these larger influencers as much. I don't know. I feel like there was like a golden age of that, and now it's not. It's more like a silver age. If that makes any sense, but I don't know. The events that I would say are worth it are probably the IPSY events, because I used to go to those every year. I haven't been to one in so long, not even because of COVID, but I just haven't gone to an IPSY one in so long, because it changed every year, and at some point it wasn't as good as it used to be. But I've heard it's really good now, so hopefully. And I know that I think they've done some in Canada. I don't remember. I'd have to look. And then, of course, IMATS is great. But IMATS is more for professionals, so I don't know. It depends on what you're there for. If you're there to get discount products and to just do some fun makeup shopping, then IMATS is the way to go. If you're looking to do like the influencer stuff and do workshops and or meet your favorite influencers, then Fame or the IPSY events, or even the, what is it, BeautyCon might be a good option. But I've heard some bad things about BeautyCon. I haven't done that one yet. Excuse me, my voice is going. Yes, hands down for everyone there. I love Sam and Nick. Oh, I love Pixie Woo. They're amazing. And Angie, yes. And Cora. So Cora is Vintage or Tacky. She's another one I absolutely adore. She recently uploaded a video, and I'm like, yes, please come back, please come back, please come back, because she was just talking about products, and she was showing some of the looks she's done. I'm like, oh man, we need that to come back to YouTube. Just the fun, funky, different makeup that you just get to have fun with. I mean, there's something to be said about makeup reviews and things, which are always fun, and it's always informational and helpful, or hey, my favorites, or a declutter video. But there's just something to be said about watching someone do their makeup and do something that maybe you wouldn't have thought to do with an eyeshadow. I love those videos. I miss those videos. I'm always on the hunt for people who do those videos still. So yeah, like all of those folks are so talented. But yeah, Angie on Golding Starling, like, hands down, queen of makeup, especially the special effects. I've learned so much from her. But yeah, basically almost everyone on that list, except with the exception of Lauren on occasion and Leisha on occasion uploading videos. But everyone, like Marlena has gone to the wayside on uploading videos. Julia stopped doing beauty. And yeah, it's so sad. Like, where are they? Come back. You are the best of YouTube. Oh yeah, you know, I don't remember watching Tiffany. I'm trying to think. I know who she is. I don't know if I watched her. I can't remember. Sarah Beth, Shy Girl Beauty. I feel like that name sounds familiar, but I'm not placing a face. As I said before, like, I'm good with names when it's only the name, but I can't associate it with a face. I think there's some weird, like, dissonance in my brain there. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, IMATS is fun, but I mean, if you're there to watch professionals do makeup, or you're wanting to do like master classes, those are really great. But I found my first experience with IMATS was this last year. I decided to go because every year I've wanted to go, and they changed. It used to be done in the summer, but now it's in January. And January is just a really hard time to travel, even in a normal year, because, you know, holidays, and you're kind of, you know, you spend a lot of money on the holidays, and then you're just kind of getting caught up in January. At least that's been my experience. And I'm like, oh, now I have this trip to do in January. It's a little tough financially. Plus, at the beginning of the year, it would always get way busy at work. So I just, no, it was just hard for me to coordinate that. But this last year, I'm like, I'm going to IMATS. So I flew down to LA. I was there for several days. I rented a car, and I drove back home from Los Angeles to Seattle. I went up the California coast, which was so fun. Yeah, but IMATS, going back to that, it was fun. It was definitely more for professionals. I was there more specifically to buy products at discount. Yeah, because of my business, I was planning to launch, and I had all these little makeup kits I was assembling for my workshops, and I needed to be able to get them on discount. Makeup brushes, all of that stuff. I spent a lot of money on my business this year, or this last year, and it's like, Dang, stupid COVID, stupid COVID, stupid COVID. Do it. Actually, oh wait, I don't know if this is going to show up on my YouTube. I think I might have hidden it, but all the channels I'm subscribed to, I'm subscribed to most of the old school folks. Um, yeah. Oh, and Corin and Purse Buzz. Those are two others that I absolutely loved. I was just talking about Corin the other day because Jen Loves Reviews uploaded a video where she kind of disassembled her Jaclyn Hill palette and was kind of doing mad chemistry with creating new eyeshadow colors and playing with them. And I was like, and she's like, I don't know if anyone else has done this before, but I think it'd be kind of cool. And I'm like, you know, I can't say you're the first one to do it because Corin used to do this on his channel, but I'm so glad that you're doing this because it's so fun and it reminds me of the good old days of YouTube and Corin. I was like, I can't remember what video it was, but I went back to his channel. I'm like, Corin, I miss you, because he's a professional makeup artist, but he would go into more of this kind of scientific side of makeup where he would talk about products and why they work, how they work, and talk about products like Scandinavia and why it was like a industry standard, which is funny because Urban Decay's All Nighter setting spray is the Scandinavia one. And then talking about glycerin and how you can use glycerin in kind of creating this dewy look on the face without having to spend, you know, $20, $30 or however much on a setting spray. You can use a glycerin spray instead. So like I learned a lot from him on ingredients and on makeup application and the use of these kinds of products to extend the life or transform your products so that you're not having to spend an arm and leg on different products that will go bad otherwise. The whole idea of being a professional makeup artist is not to have the most products, but to have the best products at the most affordable price range, the highest quality, but also to keep your kit small. There's nothing worse than having this giant kit when you're on a set or you're doing work on someone and you can't find the exact thing you're looking for because you've got too much stuff going on. Like you don't need to carry, you know, 20 foundations. You honestly don't. If you carry single bottles, single bottles of foundation, and you only really need like 3 or 4 colors because you can customize shades. And if you have the right colors, then you can do anything you need to with most skin tones. It's a little bit trickier when you have deeper skin tones, especially with different undertones, because deeper skin tones actually have more undertones than might be expected. So there's like a cool red, a warmer red, like some orange tones that are kind of mixed in that aren't red. You've got some that are a little bit more olive toned, then that's really hard to pick up in deeper pigments, but it's definitely there. And if you apply the wrong tone on a deeper skin, it looks bad. And then things that look ashy, very cool toned stuff can look really ashy. So you just have to be careful in making sure you have the right colors, but you don't need all of these perfect shade matches. You just don't. In fact, palettes are the best way to go about it. And sometimes you can customize your own palette. So anyway, all that to say, Corin kind of went into all the nitty gritty of that, which was so helpful as someone who was starting out at the time in makeup artistry. Excuse me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's how I feel about it too. And that's kind of where I straddle, there we go, straddle between wanting to do those videos because they are popular and people like them. But at the same time, it's like, do I really want to be an influencer or do I want to be an educator? Do I want to be a YouTuber or do I want to be a content creator? Kind of like, do I want to be an artist or do I want to be a salesperson? It's a fine line between them, and it's hard because YouTube, there's certain trends that YouTube just likes to push, and unfortunately, those are what get the views. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here talking about palettes that I am excited about, but I'm not like trying to sell them, obviously. I mean, if anyone's interested in buying them, then sure, but I'm also talking about my experience. But again, doing Project Pan, it's like I want to actually use the products I own, and I want to show people how I'm using these products to hopefully inspire others to use their products too and not feel like you have to rush out and buy everything, because you don't want to end up like me. You don't want 1,400 products in your drawers that you're obviously not going to be able to use in a lifetime, while also lusting after other products that you don't really need. Hmm. Oh, I do have these other two palettes I wanted to quickly show. And I think I'm going to hop off here in just a few minutes because my voice is going. And I realized now that I've pulled an Emily D. Baker where I've been on for 2.5 hours. I was not expecting that. Okay, this one is the Mauves palette. Here, I'll take that off. This one's really cool too. At first I was like, oh, I don't need a mauve palette. I have so many of them. But then I looked it up. I looked up someone's swatches of this palette and I was like, okay, I actually do need that palette. I don't need it, but I really want it because these colors are just, they're a gorgeous assortment. This light one here, this one here in the bottom, that one is so pretty. And this is really what pulled me into wanting this palette and buying it. Oops. There we go. Look at that shine. Like, I can see myself doing so many pretty looks with this palette because I love a good deep chocolate brown and I love pairing that with purples and pinks. So this palette, I was just like, okay, I don't need it, but I want it. So I'm glad I got it. But yeah. And then another boring basic AF palette is the Taupes one, but I wanted this because I like cool tones and it's really hard to find a good cool tone palette that has these more rich colors and won't look ashy, and these do not look ashy on me. I think I used this in a video during MS as well and I really enjoyed it. Let's see. This one here on the top, that one's a really cool color too because it has some purple in there. Oops, wrong finger. There we go. It's not going to pull up because that pink stained, but yeah, you can see a little bit of that right here. It's kind of got a purple tint to it. It's really cool. All right, my voice is dying. I need to go rest my voice, drink some water, and I have some homework to do. So I'm going to head out. I appreciate you guys being here. I enjoyed this. I will schedule another one very soon. I have some videos that I will be pushing myself to get up this week, so stay tuned. I'll be getting them. I'm going to try to get them up on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!